Uh, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Warm welcome to you all again in India and abroad. We will start the program, second in our series, with a prayer song by Parur Dr. Harini Srivatsa. Harini?
Om Shri Brihma Samhita Amarnata Mahatmyam Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Om Shrava Mahadeva Mahimana पुण्यं जनन्तनादस्य सूर्यक्षेत्रस्य वैतथा अधूनां श्रोतुमिच्छामि यात्राम् यात्राम् अमरनाथजा रसलिङ्गस्य महात्म्यं श्रुत्वा मुच्ये महददा श्रुत्वा मुच्ये महददा
Okay, we thank Harini for participating in our series and for this prayer rendition, which is very appropriate for today's discourse. It talks about the effects of listening to Amarnatha Mahatmyam. We are very pleased to have Sri P.R. Kannan as our speaker today on Amarnatha Mahatmyam. A few words about Sri Kannan. After a brilliant academic career with an MTech from IIT Madras and PG from Holland, he was in the corporate world in India and abroad. With his deep interest in Sanatana Dharma, he is the author of Dileep, a spiritual magazine started at the instance of Sri Mahapariva, author of around 40 books, writings, and translations. He delivers discourses on various religious subjects and will be with us for 6 sessions, including this one. Sri Kanchi Mutt has been in the forefront, modestly working with the sole aim of national integration, spiritual enlightenment, and spreading the uniqueness as Kashmir is our cultural heritage. We thank Sri Kanchi Mutt for giving us this opportunity and also thank Sri Kannan for participating in this ongoing series. To you, Sri Kannan.
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे श्रीराम सौमित्रिजटायुवेद षडाननादित्यकुजार्चिताय श्रीनीलकण्ठाय दयामयाय श्रीवैद्यनाथाय नमः शिवाय सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविन्दनामसङ्कीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द श्रीजगदम्बिकायै जय जय. This series on Kashmir, enlightenment on the cultural, and spiritual and religious history of Kashmir was inaugurated on 15th August by Sri Periwal himself with Anugraha Bhashanam, followed by a beautiful lecture by Dr. Nagaswamy on various aspects of temple architecture, etc., connected with Kashmir. Now, today our subject is Amaranatha Mahatmya. Now, this whole initiative has been at the instance of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham. Our Acharya has been taking extremely special interest in the matters of Kashmir. Our Kanchi Matham has got a traditional link with Kashmir. Some of the gurus in our Acharya Parampara have visited Kashmir, have attained Siddhi in Kashmir, have had the kings of Kashmir as their disciples. These kings have traveled to Kanchipuram and taken Upadesha from the Acharyas. So that is how the whole history of Kanchi Matham is connected with Kashmir. And some 10 or 12 years ago, a great initiative was taken by Sri Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal, our Acharya, by visiting Kashmir. He visited all the temples there. Then he started what is known as Vishwa Shanti Homam every year. Every April, May, during Shankara Jayanti time, he started performing Vishwa Shanti Homam. He took a lot of Vaidikas from Tamil Nadu. Vedic havans were performed. A lot of discourses were arranged on various spiritual topics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Devi Bhagavatam, etc. And various other religious activities, pujas, bhajans, etc. were also organized. So there has been a continuous link between Kanchi Matham and Kashmir this way, strengthened this way. And some books which were spotted by our Acharya during these visits have been located in Kashmir and published by Kanchi Matham, like Vaidika Mantra Kalpalata, Logakshi Grihya Sutra, and Amarnath Mahatmyam, which was translated by me and published a few years ago. Now, this Amarnath Mahatmya is actually a part of what is known as Bhringisha Samhita. Bhringisha is the name of Shiva, Ishvara of Bhringi, one of the great disciples of Shiva. Now, Bhringisha is the name used in this Purana, Bhringisha Samhita. And this is part of Amarnath Mahatmya, is part of that greater Purana called Bhringisha Samhita. It occurs in Dakshina Parshva Upatirtha Sangraham. Dakshina Parshva Upatirtha Sangraham. That is a part of the Bhringisha Samhita. That is where it occurs. Now, a lot of kshetras and tirthas are mentioned en route to reaching Amarnath. Now, our Acharya is extremely keen that all these kshetras and tirthas must be identified today, and those who go to Amarnath for darshan should go through this yatra as stipulated in Amarnath Mahatmya. They must halt at all these places, take bath in all those tirthas, perform rituals as stipulated, have darshan in all those various kshetras, and then reach Amarnath and come back. And there is a route for, there are stages for coming back also, which we will see. One should go through all this. This is our Acharya's great desire. So for that, we have to develop all these kshetras and tirthas, which has not happened as of now. Some of these tirthas and kshetras have been identified, which we will, little more detail we will go into in our lecture on temples of Kashmir. Now, today we will confine ourselves to the Purana, Amarnatha Mahatmyam Purana, as given to us in Bhringisha Samhita. Now, let us see what is the greatness of Amarnatha Linga. He says, This is a discourse by Shiva to Parvati. The whole book is a discourse by Shiva to Parvati. Shiva himself gives the details and gives the greatness. He says, Bhavarogam cha grihnati bhaktanam cheshwara swayam yad darshanat tata proktam hamareshakshamuttamam yad asuranashashchaiva jaramarananashanam moksha ishwarya pradam yasmat proktam amarasangyakam idam rasamayam lingam mahaprema samudbhavam samarasya pradam devi तव स्नेहात् प्रकाशितं दर्शनात् स्पर्शनाच्चापि पूजनाच्चापि वन्दनात् अमरेशस्य लिङ्गस्य मुच्यते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भवरोगं च गृह्णाति. You are relieved of bhavaroga, the disease of samsara, the disease of having to appear again and again in the cycle of births and deaths. And you get moksha, you get sayuja with Amareshwara. The darshanat, just by having darshan. Rasamayam lingam. This is linga of made of water. That's why he says idam rasamayam lingam. Maha prema samudbhavam. This linga was born out of great love for humanity. Samarasya pradam. It gives you equanimity, because equanimity is the basic foundation of jnana. And after that, you can get moksha. So he says, Samarasya pradam devi tavasneha prakashitam pranamya vidhivad bhaktya swadhalingam sanatanam naro nalipyate papaihi koti janma samudbhavaihi swadhalingam. Now, there are many names which Shiva mentions in connection with this lingam. Another name he mentions here is swadhalingam, which means you will get the blessings of Pitrus, even if you have some deviations in your Pitrakarmas. Pitrus will still remain satisfied by having darshan of Amareshwara, and you will get their blessings. So various names he gives: Rasalingam, Swadhalingam, Siddhalingam, Buddhilingam, Shuddhilingam, Vriddhilingam. Now he says, without having to go through the arduous process of dhyana, yoga, dhanam, etc., only darshan of Amareshwara is very meritorious. Now, this concept of Rasalinga, linga of water, you will also find in Thiruvanekkaval near Trichy in Tamil Nadu, where Parvati created a linga out of water and then was doing her upasana to attain Shiva. That is the Sthala Purana of Thiruvanekkaval. There also you find that is called Gajaranya Kshetra, Thiruvanekkaval. Gajaranya Mahatmyam, there it is given, these details are given. That is also a Rasalingam. So Rasalingam has been in use in various Puranas by various Devatas. Now Shiva himself became Rasalingam here. There Parvati created a Rasalingam. Now this manifestation of Amaranatha happened on a Shravana Purnima day, and today is Shravana Purnima. That is why we are having this discourse, especially today. The procedure of darshan of Amaranatha says that you should start your yatra during the Shukla Paksha of Shravana and then have the darshan of Amaranatha on Purnima day. So during the Shukla Paksha, you travel and reach Amaranatha on Purnima. That is what is stated there. So this yatra is very important. Not simply go directly in a helicopter, land in front of the cave and have darshan. That is not recommended. That is in fact prohibited in the, to tell you very frankly, it is in fact prohibited in the Amaranatha Mahatmya book. Shiva says very clearly, you must perform this yatra as stipulated. And evam kritva naro yatram pashyelingam rasatmakam. Do the yatra this way. Sayati Shiva Sayujjam yatra nasti krita kritam. That way you will reach Shiva Sayujja, where there is no krita and akrita. Things to be done, things not to be done. Vidhi and Nishedha, all those will be beyond that stage. Trayo Vimshaditha Yatra Smrita Amaranathaga. There are 23 halts he himself describes 16 kshetras and 23 tirthas. He is mentioning 16 kshetras and 23 tirthas. Now, kshetras and tirthas are together generally. And these 23 tirthas, you have 6 in the river Vitasta and 17 in other Punya tirthas. Now, Vitasta is a river which is very famous in Kashmir. When we go to the other lectures related to Raja Tarangani, Bringir Samhita, etc., you will find Vitasta coming up for mention frequently. The most sacred river of Kashmir is Sindhu, and after Sindhu is Vitasta. These are like Ganga and Yamuna. Sindhu is like Ganga, and Vitasta is like Yamuna. In fact, you will find when we go to the other books, Vitasta is the very body of Parvati. That's what the Purana says. So he is especially saying 6 times you have to, 6 places, 6 tirthas are specified in Vitasta river. Vitasta is the present day Jhelum. What is known as Jhelum today is Vitasta in Vedic literature. In fact, in Rig Veda, there is a reference to Vitasta in the famous Rik, Imam Me Gange Yamune Saraswati. In that Rik, there is a mention of Vitasta. Sapta Ganga is eulogized, and one of the Sapta Gangas is Vitasta. Now, apart from that, in these kshetras, which he mentions, 16 kshetras, you find that you are having darshan, you are going to do puja of Ganapati, Shiva, Vishnu, Devi, and other devatas. Now, all these kshetras have got stories linked with various devas, various rishis, very sacred. Now, let us quickly go through these various kshetras and tirthas. Now, some of the tirthas and kshetras, he gives detailed stories. Shiva gives detailed accounts. Some of them he just mentions here. Maybe they have been lost over a period of time in Bringir Samhita that we are not aware of. Whatever we have, let us see. Now, the first kshetra which he is mentioning is Shiva Param kshetra. There, Ganga. Ganga is also there. There you have snan in Ganga, bath in Ganga. Then you go to Padma Puram. There you have snan there in the tirtha. Stay for 1 yama, 3 hours. You stay there. And then go to next tirtha, which is Mahanaga Tirtha Snan, and worship Haridra Ganapati. Now you will find these Nagas are finding frequent mention in Kashmir literature that we will also have occasion to go into detail in a later lecture. Nagas are the forerunners of the inhabitants of Kashmir. The first inhabitants of Kashmir are Nagas. So they will find a lot of reference to Nagas, and every Naga, every chief of Naga is associated with a tirtha and generally a spring. Naga is associated with a spring. Now, all these tirthas generally are springs. Now, he says Mahanaga Tirtha, you take bath there and worship Haridra Ganapati. Now, there is a story about Haridra Ganapati which is not directly coming in the portion called Amarnath Mahatmya, but it is coming in a later portion of Bringisha Samhita. Now, what that story says is simply, once Shiva granted Amrita to Rudra Pishachakas, what are known as Rudra Pishachakas, and those Pishachakas became immortal. This infuriated the Devas. How can you give Amrita to those people who are not eligible for it? So what they did, I mean, this is how the story goes. What they did, they tried to sort of arrest the movement of Shiva by constructing what is known as a vata. Vata means an enclosure, to stop him from moving from there. That is known as Thalavata. Now, Thalavata is a sacred kshetra, which is also mentioned in this context. Now, Shiva became angry. He simply disappeared. How can you confine Shiva to a place? He disappeared. Then the disheartened Devas went to Brahma. Brahma told them, you go to Amarnath. You will find him there. So they went to Amarnath. Now, in Amarnath, Shiva had stationed the Ganapati in 3 forms at 3 stages. The first stage, when Indra encountered Ganapati, This you will find in other similar stories in this lecture again. Indra did not care for Ganapati. Then Ganapati took up his parashu, his axe, and Indra took up Vajrayudha, and they did not strike each other in this story. Ganapati aimed his parashu at a hill called Uddar, and the hill got burnt. Indra took up Vajrayudha and he aimed it at another hill, another mountain. Then it created a lot of rocks, broke into rocks, Upala. Now, in this process, the Ganapati became Haridrangaha, yellow colored. He is known as Haridra Ganeshwar. Now, that is the kshetra which is mentioned here. It is on the banks of a river called Jeshtha Shadha. Upalavan is the name of the place because Upala was created by Indra. Upalavan is the name of the place. There you are supposed to have darshan of Haridra Ganapati. Next is mentioned Balihara. Balihara Kshetra has gone there. Hastikarna Kshetra. Now this name Hastikarna must be Ganapati. Also coming up for mention in other books connected with Kashmir. I don't know whether we have located that place in present day Kashmir. Maybe not, but we have to locate Hastikarna Kshetra and Saraswati Ashrama. You go and take snan there. This is the fourth in that list of 16. The next fifth is snan in Chakresha Tirtha, Devaka Tirtha, and Harishchandra Tirtha. These must have been the names of rishis and kings in whose names the Tirtha have been formed when they worshipped Shiva. Now, then next comes the Sthalavatam Kshetra, which we saw just now. Sthalavata Kshetra and snan in what is called Mrita Tirtha. Next is Surya Guha Vatam, must be a place worshipped by Surya, and snan in Lambodari river. For Lambodari river, there is a story given by Shiva. Lambodari, as the name indicates, is connected with Lambodara, Ganapati. Today, the river is identified as Liddar. It is known as Liddar in today's language. Lambodari has become Liddar over a period of time. Now, the story is like this. One Indra was going to Kailasa for having Shiva darshan, and he was stopped at the gate by Ganapati. Now, Indra picked up a fight with Ganapati and he took up his Vajrayudha, and Ganapati, by a mere chant of a mantra, stopped Indra's hand position. His hand became immobilized with the Vajrayudha. Then Indra realized the greatness of Ganapati. Well, this is how arrogance works, Maya works. I mean, these are lessons for humans. Now, Indra realized and he broke into a stotra, beautiful stotra of Ganapati. Krodha Samharaka stotra, it is called. Sudantam parasham chaiva dharayantam bhujadvaye raktavastrambaradharam raktamālādharam tatha vignarāshin vikirantam karokshepam muhurmuhuhu pranipatya maheshasya sunum mantra vinayakam. Vignarāshin vikirantam. He says beautifully, Indra says, now the way with his elephant trunk, the elephant trunk keeps moving here and there, this way and that way. Now that is how he is removing vignas, obstacles of devotees, the way he is moving his trunk. Vignarāshin vikirantam karokshepam muhurmuhuhu. Now Ganapati was satisfied, and then Indra prostrated to Ganapati, and Indra went back. After this, after some time, Ganapati became very hungry and thirsty. He drank away all the waters of the Ganga. It's not unusual for those who are familiar with Agastya drying up the entire ocean by a mere achamana. We know that story. Similarly, Ganapati drank up all the waters of Ganga, and Ganga became dry. Shiva became upset. Shiva came and asked what is going on. Then what he did was he took up his damaru and tapped Ganapati's belly. And through the mouth of Ganapati, Ganga came out, and that is called Lambodari because it came out of the mouth of Lambodara. Now this Lambodari river, bath, dana, etc. is recommended there. It gives you Shiva's Ayujyam. He says, Go bhu hiranyavathamsi लंबोदर नदी तटे यो ददाति द्विजश्रेष्ठो हनंत फलमाप्नुयात्. This go bhu hiranyavasamsi, cow, danam of cow, danam of land, danam of gold, danam of clothes. These are part of what is known as dasha danas in our literature, 10 great danas. Now after this we go to Suryashram, snan in Surya Ganga. Here also Shiva says danams are very important. You get rid of even great sins like Brahmahatya by giving danams, by taking bath there. Then you go to what is known as Karam Kshetra. Take bath in the Tirtha there and worship Ganapati again. Then Hayashirsha Ashram. Hayashirsha must be Vishnu. And there must have been ashram created by Vishnu. Then you have darshan of Vishnu there, and Ashwatara Naga Tirtha, again another Naga Tirtha. You take bath there. Then you go to Baddhorasi Kshetra. Then you take bath in Ganga. Then you go to Saralakam Kshetra and take bath there. Then you go to Khilyapana Kshetra. This Khilyapana Kshetra, a story is available given by Shiva. And the Tirtha there is called Narayana Tirtha, connected with Narayana. The Khilyapana Kshetra story is like this. You might have heard of 60,000 rishis called Valakhilya rishis. They are Angushta Pramana, of the size of a thumb. Now, they are stationed in front of Surya's chariot. They travel along with Surya and they worship Surya. That is how the history goes in our Purana. Now, these Valakhilya rishis penance, did tapas for 1,000 years in contemplating Vishnu. Vishnu dhyana parasaktaha shantat mano mahojasaha. Then Vishnu appeared. Then they broke into a beautiful stotra on Vishnu. In fact, the Amarnath Mahatmya, you will find a lot of stotras on Shiva, on Vishnu, on Ganapati, on Devi. Vedatmakam Veda Vedyam Puranam Varam Varenyam Varadam Sharanyam Hiranyagarbham Adi Devazidevam Hiranyabahum Sharanam Prapadye. Now, Vishnu is identified with Brahma, Hiranyagarbha. He is also identified with Shiva, Hiranyabahu. And these rishis say, your Maya is Duratyaya, very difficult to cross. Mama Maya Duratyaya, Bhagavan says in Gita. Now, same thing he says here. The human's mind is devoured by not one sense organ, by 10 sense organs, 10 indriyas are waiting to devour the human mind. Like crocodiles. 10 indriyas are acting like 10 crocodiles waiting to devour the mind. So you are the only refuge, you only can protect us. Now Vishnu appeared and Vishnu asked them, what do you want? What I am prepared to give you any boon you want. They said, we don't want any boon other than having your darshan. We have had your darshan, we are very satisfied, we are very happy. If you deign, please give darshan here to all future pilgrims. So Vishnu shed tears of joy and he looked at his feet, and from the feet Ganga flowed out. That Ganga became Narayana Tirtha, also known as Valakhilya Tirtha, because it was at the prayer of Valakhilya rishis. Now, if you take bath in Narayana Tirtha, he gives a big list of sins, all those sins, including Govadha. All those sins you will get rid of. You will get rid of even the fear of Kali Yuga, and you will get even Mukti. Naro Muktim Avapnoti Snana Dana Japarchanai Khilyapane Punye Grame Vishnoho Kshetre Kanuttame. Then you go to Mamalaka Kshetra. Now, in Mamalaka Kshetra, what happened was Shiva once wanted to take rest. He went to the forest, what is known as Dandaka Muni's forest. He went up the hill called Kailanaka Hill. He took rest on the top of the hill and he posted Ganapati at the entrance saying, don't allow anyone, I am taking rest. Then after some time, Devas came, headed by Indra. And Shiva, who was at the top, shouted to them, "Don't come." Now, Ganapati at the same time took up his axe, Parashu, and shouted, "Don't come. Ma, alam." Ma means don't. Alam means enough. Enough, don't advance. Go back. Now, when they heard, perhaps they did not hear, Devas did not hear perhaps Shiva shouting from the top, but they heard Ganapati. So they went into a state of Satchidananda. Shiva himself says in this story. By hearing Ganapati's voice, Devas went into a state of Satchidananda. Now, that village where this happened is known as Mam Alam. Ma Alam became Mam Alam, and that kshetra is known as Mamalaka kshetra. In due course, it has become Mamal. It is near Pahalgam that has been located. Of course, that temple is in ruins. Many temples are shown in ruins the other day by Dr. Nagaswamy. This is one of those near Pahalgam. Now, Ganapati and Shiva both are stationed there giving darshan. Mameshwara Linga and Mamaleshwara Ganapati. And Ganapati, specifically Shiva recommends you have darshan on Vaishakha Shukla Chaturdashi or Vinayaka Chaturthi. These are special days. Now, since this is near Pahalgam, not very far from Srinagar, you don't have to combine this with the Amarnath Yatra, though it's part of the Yatra here. That is why he is recommending special dates for having darshan of this Ganapati. You will get the fruits of Jyotishtoma, Somayaga and all. I mean, for every kshetra, such fruits are described, very generously described by Shiva. Listening to the story itself removes obstacles. Vignas are removed. This Mamalaka kshetra story. Next story is about Bhrigupati kshetra and Bhrigu Tirtha Snan and Neela Ganga Snan. They are all grouped together. Must be they are all nearby. Now, Bhrigu is Rishi, like Kashyapa is associated with Kashmir, like that Bhrigu is also associated with Kashmir. These are the two Rishis associated with Kashmir. Now, once Bhrigu did penance, intense penance for 1,000 divine years in a place called Parishila Vana. And he had darshan of Vishnu. He broke into a stotra of Vishnu. And Bhrigu was so happy, he shed tears of joy, and Vishnu embraced him. When Vishnu embraced him, Vishnu's sweat became a tirtha. And that tirtha is known as Bhrigu Tirtha, after Bhrigu's name. Now, if you take bath in this kshetra is also Bhrigupati kshetra. That's what we started with. And if you take bath in Bhrigu Tirtha, since like Brahmahatya are destroyed, you must give, for every kshetra there are dhanams mentioned, shraddhas are mentioned, pitri shraddhas are mentioned, for every kshetra. So here the dhanam is specially mentioned for tamra patra, copper vessel, and shraddham for pitris. And if you do pitri shraddham here, pitris are satisfied for 100 kalpas. One kalpa is 1 day of Brahma. Then you can imagine. 1,000 Chaturyugas constitute 1 day of Brahma. So 100 kalpas like that. Next is Neela Ganga, must be close by. Now there's a story connected with Neela Ganga also. Shiva and Parvati had some light-hearted sport one day. And during that sport, Shiva must have done something which must have agitated Parvati. So Parvati felt agitated. So when she felt agitated, Shiva became unhappy. He must not have realized that the cause of her agitation. So he became unhappy, and his face turned black-blue, Shiva's face. Then Parvati brought out a mirror and showed him for him to see. Darshayama savai tasmai shadarsham vimalam tada. Vimalam shadarsham, pure mirror. Only here there is a Vedanta principle mentioned indirectly. Only when our mind is pure, like a Vimala Adarsha, pure mirror, then you can have darshan of Shiva. Shiva will appear in your mind, in your heart, only when it becomes pure. So she showed a pure mirror crystal-like pure mirror. And Shiva was surprised to see how his face has turned blue-black. Then he wiped his face with his matted tresses, then also washed with Ganga, which is on his head. The Ganga became black-blue, and that is the Tirtha, which is known as Neela Ganga Tirtha. If you take bath in the Tirtha, all your sins are removed and you go get Shiva's Ayujyam. And that Mrittika, for the speciality of this particular Tirtha, that Mrittika, the soil from that Tirtha, if you take and apply on your body and take bath, then it is very, very meritorious. Particularly for women, he is recommending that Mrittika to get rid of sins. Then you go to what is known as Sthanvashrama Pesha. The next halt. Now, all these names are looking strange for those who are not familiar, but they have special significance, as you can see from the stories associated with the names, etc. Now, Sthanvashrama is the place where Shiva was Sthanu. One of the names of Shiva is Sthanu. Sthanu means like a pillar, unmoving. He was doing tapas for attaining Parvati because as Dakshayani had left Shiva in that Dakshayajna. So he became alone. Now Dakshayani took the form of Parvati and she was with Himavan's daughter. Now at the same time, Shiva was also doing penance to attain Parvati. Now people are listening to stories of how Parvati did intense penance to attain Shiva. Yes, correct. Same way, Shiva also did intense penance to attain Parvati. For 1,000 divine years, he penance. This is statement of Shiva himself. This whole entire story is retold by Shiva. Now, that place where he did that penance is Sthanu Ashrama. That's called Sthanvashrama. And there is a Tirtha there. If you take bath there, then if you do Pitru Shraddha, Pitris will remain satisfied for 100 kalpas. You are supposed to give danam of silk cloth, gold, etc. And if you do Sandhya Vandanam in this Sthanvashrama, sacred kshetra, you will get benefit 1 crore of times of what you will get if you perform the same Sandhya Vandanam at home because of the kshetra mahima. Now, Sandhya Vandana mahima says if you do in a river bank, you will get twice the fruit. If you do in Goshala, you will get 10 times the fruit. If you do it in Agnishala, you will get 100 times the fruit. And if you do here, it is 1 crore of times. If you do it in a Devata Sannidhi, you get Ananta Phala, crore of times. Now, the connected story is Sthanvashrama Pesha, we said. So, what is the story of Pesha? Once Devas were ascending this hill where Sthanvashrama is located, ascending the hill to have Shiva's darshan. Now, Rakshasas also followed Devas. And Rakshasas, being Rakshasas, they fought with Devas to go ahead. I will go ahead of you. That kind of attitude. They fought. Now, Devas did not like that. So, what did they do? They made Rakshasas into churna. They powdered them. They made them like a flower. Pishta means like a flower. The flower that we eat. The flower that we use for making chapatis, etc. That is called pishta. Now, these Rakshasas became pishta, and that is why that hill is known as Pesha. Now, that hill it itself became sacred because of the elimination of evil elements. Now, Darshana Pesha is very meritorious, and when you are climbing that hill, he says, what is the mantra you should chant? He says, Shri Shri Shitikanthesha. This is the mantra you should chant. Now, he has chosen a very unusual name of Shiva, Shitikantha Isha. Shitikantha means, this comes in Rudra Prashna, Namo Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha Namah Sharvaya cha Pashupatiye cha Namo Neelagrivaya cha Shitikanthaya cha. Now, Shitikantha means both white and black neck. Neelakantha means black blue neck. Now, Shitikantha means both white neck as well as blue neck. Now, what is the interpretation? interpretation is Shiva is all white, Karpura Gauram. So his neck was also white before he took that halahala poison. After he took halahala poison, he became Nilakantha. So he is Shitikantha. Now, if you prostrate to the hill and then climb the hill, chanting this mantra, Shri Shri Shitikantesha, you will attain to Shivaloka. And Shravanam of this Patala, now every one of the kshetras is contained in a Patala, a chapter. The Shravanam of this Patala itself will give you the fruit of Jyotishtoma Homa. Next is Sushrama Nagaraja Mahagonasa Mahima. As we saw earlier, this place of Kashmir is associated with Nagas and serpents. Now, Gonasa means serpent, big serpent. Nagaraja, head of Nagas. Now, this head of Nagas is, of course, Shesha. Now, we are going to see the story connected with Shesha. Sushrama means after a lot of effort, Devas took rest there, so this is called Sushrama. The story is like this. Devas once went up the Himalayas for doing puja of Shiva called Chamareshwara. Must be one of the kshetras on top of Himalayas. At that time, Rakshasas attacked the Devas when they were climbing the hill. And Rakshasas did not come in Rakshasa form, they came in the form of wind. They pushed them. So they were not able to climb. They were falling repeatedly because of the heavy force of the wind. Devas didn't know anything what to do. Then they prayed to Shiva. Shiva said, now these Rakshasas have attained their strength by a boon from me. So it will not be right on my part to punish them. Maya samvardhita daityaha chetum narha suradhipaha. So he said, you go to Vishnu. That is how you find Vishnu taking a lot of avatars for punishing asuras. Because Shiva is generally the Devata who grants them the boons. So the Devas went to ocean of milk. Shirabdhi prayed to Vishnu, Jagatkartre namastubhyam jagadhartre chavai namaha jagatpalana samsakta chitta yachitswarupine. Then Vishnu blessed and then he listened to their problems and then he says, I will come myself to your place. He came to Himalayas. He brought Shesha with him. He asked Shesha to consume that wind. Serpent consumes the wind, drinks the wind. So Shesha consumed all the wind, and at the request of Devas, Shesha stayed there. That is how you get the place called Sheshanag even today. This is the story behind Sheshanag. And as we saw earlier, every Nag is associated with a Tirtha. So Sheshanag is also associated with the Tirtha, Sheshanag lake. And this Mahagonasa, which we saw, is a pass is named after Mahagonasa. Even today, there is a Mahagonasa pass, and then you go through that pass, and you go to Sheshanag lake, and by the side of Sheshanag lake, you have Sushrama Tirtha, where Devas took rest. Devas felt relieved from the trouble created by Rakshasas. They took bath in the Tirtha and they took rest. That is why it is known as Sushrama Tirtha. You are supposed to take bath in both the Tirthas and then do Lakshmi Puja here, connected with Sheshanag. So you do Lakshmi Puja here. Next we go to a place called Vayuvarjanam. There is a story connected with Vayuvarjanam. We saw the story connected with Pesha, where Asuras were squeezed, powdered and thrown away. Now one Asura, some Asuras must have escaped. One Asura called Prishada, he took the form of Vayu and troubled the Devas. So Devas took refuge in Shiva. This time what Shiva did was, he asked the Devas to prepare a Mathika. Mathika means a small room. And to do Vayu Varjanam, that means remove Vayu from that room. That means it is create vacuum, or what we are calling vacuum today's technology. He did at that time. Shiva asked them to do Vayu Varjanam, remove Vayu from that room. Now, and stay there, because Amaras, Devas can stay without Vayu, not like humans. We need Vayu for our life. So they were staying there, and this fellow came there, the Prishada Asura, and Indra came out and fought with him with his Vajrayudha and killed him. Now, in this place, this very sacred place, Vayuvarjanam place, you are supposed to give Dhanam of Mathika, a room-like structure, make a small room. In fact, you can make all these Dhanams out of pishta, out of flour. That is what Shiva says. You can make a Mathika out of flour and give Dhanam. That is very meritorious. Now, what happened with some of the other asuras who were along with this Prashada, they ran away and they were hiding in a lake. And whenever these devas were around, they used to come out of that lake and attack them. Now, again, not only devas, even rishis and munis. So this was a big trouble. So these rishis and munis again prayed to Shiva. And once Shiva and Parvati happened to come near that lake, so Devi reminded Shiva, please bless these devas. Then what Shiva did was Shiva just pronounced Hunkara, and all asuras were immediately drowned in that lake. Now immersed in the lake. Now Parvati cursed the lake because lake was giving refuge, asylum to these Rakshasas, asuras. So Parvati cursed the lake to become dry. So as soon as the lake became dry, all the asuras were exposed, and Shivaganath went and killed the asuras. So this is the story connected with Vayuvarjanam, another sacred place. Vayuvarjanam place is now identified with a similar name, Vayon or something like that. Then Panchatarangini, that name is still available. Panchatarangini name is very well known in Kashmir even today. The story of Panchatarangini is like this. Shiva was performing Tandava. He is very fond of Tandava. His Sandhya Tandava, we are going to see next story is about Sandhya Tandava. He performs Tandava at the morning and evening during Sandhya times regularly. Now, during one of these Tandava sessions, Ganga, which is on his head, flowed down in 5 branches, 5 streams from his jata, from his matted tresses. So that is Pancha Tarangini, 5 rivers, and very sacred. You have to take bath, you have to do Dhanam, you have to do Shraddham. Go Hiranyam Suvasasche Shaumam Chandaname Kunkuma Guru Karpura Mrigana Bhimapishwari Yodadati Jendraya Sashaivam Lokamavapnuyate. Go Hiranyam, so these are the various dhanas described. You are also supposed to do Shraddha there. Next is Damaruka Garbhagara Nissaranam. What is the story behind Damaruka? Now, we just noted that Shiva performs Tandava dance in the morning and evening during Sandhya times. Now, he is very keen that he should perform at the appointed time. Now, just as we should be keen on doing Sandhya Vandanam at the right time, he is very keen on doing Tandava at the appointed time. But once or twice he was missing the appointed time because he was playing with Subramanya, Kumara. So what he did, he appointed an attendant, one of his Shivaganas, to sound the Damaru at the appointed time. So this was the job. Like we have, olden days in schools, they will strike the bell at the appointed time for informing the teachers and the students. Like that. He was sounding the Damaru. Now, one day what happened, this attendant, he slept off during that time. Sleeping during Sandhya time is wrong, is sin. And then not following Shiva's instruction was a double sin. So immediately Shiva became angry. He cursed him to become a stone. That stone is on the top of a hill called Ratna Parvata. And the darshan of that stone of Damaruka is very meritorious. Then the story of Garbhagara. Once Devas went for darshan of Shiva in Kailasa and they were stopped by Nandi. But when they were halted like this, the Devas started fighting among themselves because they became restless. Now Nandi went and reported to Shiva. These Devas are fighting among themselves. I am very much worried what will happen to me. Then he said, don't worry, I am there. What you do, you create what is known as the Garbhagara, like a Garbhagriha, a cave. Once you enter there, you will not be able to come out. You make it like that, close it on all sides, and you put the Devas inside. Maybe this was just to frighten the Devas. So this became an important point of halt, this Garbhagara, in our Amarnath Yatra. Because Shiva says clearly, you must pass through the Garbhagara, you must take bath in the Amaravati river, which comes out of the Garbhagara. It comes actually out of the Amarnath cave, which we will going to see just now, and it passes through the Garbhagara and then it comes down. So take bath in Amaravati river and then go through the Garbhagara and have darshan of Amaranatha. That is the sequence. Now, Amaranatha story. We have reached the Amaranatha cave now after all these various halls in various kshetras and tirthas. Now, how Amaranatha came into being? He said, no, Maha Prema Samudbhavam. He said, what is the prema about? Now, this is the story. All creation comes from Shiva. Shiva is Nirguna. He adopts Maya for doing this creation. From Prakriti, from Maya, all creation happens. Now, the book talks about 14 types of beings, 14 types of beings created. Devas, Asuras, Pitras, Rishis, humans, animals, etc. Now, when this creation happened, what happened was Mrityu, who was also one of the created beings, Mrityu being Mrityu, he started eating away all the rest of the creation. So no created being was left. As soon as something was created, he started eating. This became a big problem for Devas. Devas went and prayed to Shiva. The prayer is beautiful, like many other prayers. Chitchandranashita shesha swantamohaya shambhave vimarshine vidhignaye muktarupayate namaha. Swantamohaya. My moha is ended by having your darshan. Chitchandranashita shesha. You are having Chandra on your head and you are representing Chit. You are a form of Chit, consciousness. So, through that Chandra, you are sending that, because Chandra is glowing, cool glow. So, through that Chandra, you are sending that consciousness, that jnana to us. So, our moha is gone. That is how the Vedanta principle is depicted here. Chit Chandranashita Shesha. Ashesha Swanta Moha. Entire moha is dispelled. Swanta Mohaya Shambhave Vimarshine Vidhignaye Muktarupayate Namaha. Then Shiva asked, Kimarthamagata yuyum yakulaha surasattamaha. Why did you come? You appear very agitated. What is the problem? Kathayadvam yatas sarvam madiyam mayi vartate. Tell me, frankly, there is no need to hide anything from me, because yatas sarvam madiyam mayi vartate. Sarvam madiyam. Whatever is there in creation is all mine. Not only when you say madiyam, of me, mine, it means my property. It can be different. It can be another place. My property can be in a different place. But it's not like that. Mayi vartate, they are all remaining in me. That means I am sarva vyapi. I am everywhere. And all property is in me. The whole creation is in me. So tell me, what is your problem? Because anything in the creation, I can handle it. So when these people reported this is a problem created by Mrityu, then what he said? Shiva immediately took out the Chandra from his head, squeezed the Chandrakala, and then a river came out of that Chandrakala when it was squeezed. That river is Amaravati. And Shiva himself, who was giving darshan and speaking all this, turned into a Rasalinga, Amaranatha Linga. That is Amaranatha. And he told the Devas, if you have darshan of this linga, not only you, even in future, anybody who has darshan of this Rasalinga, linga of water, they will become immortal. They will become Amara. In this Amaranatha cave, they will attain Shiva's Ayujyam. Devas circumambulated Shiva. They did puja. Puja is supposed to be done with lot of dravyas, lot of good materials. In fact, even a list of materials is given by Shiva in this context. And they went back to Devaloka. Now Shiva told them, Shariram yavvanam dravyam daran putran griham tatha chanchalam sarvato jnatva hamaresham samashrayet. All this human body is kshanabhangura, transient. Youth is transient. All your properties, all your wealth, dravyam is all transient. Daran, wife, putran, children, griham, your house, your properties, they are all Chanchalam sarvato jnatva. They are all chanchala. They will all be destroyed in no time. Amaresham samashrayet. Yo dandavaccha pranamet bhumau devi sureshwaram tam brahma cha harishchapi pranamet tu yutisthitihi. Shiva himself says, one who prostrates dandavat, sashtanga pranam, that's called dandavat pranam, sashtanga pranam, in front of Amareshwara, what happens to him? Tam brahma cha harishchapi pranamet tu yutisthitihi. That devotee who prostrates to Amareshwara in Amarnatha cave, Brahma and Vishnu prostrate to him, to that devotee. Tam Brahma cha harishchapi pranamet tu yutisthitihi. This is the position, he says, he explains. And in this context, Shiva describes various types of very serious sins, including Panchamahapatakas. They will all be destroyed. You will get moksha, you will get Shiva Sayujya. And bathing in Amaravati river, we just saw, if you drink Amaravati river water, it is very meritorious. Darshan of Amarnatha is 10 times of Kashi, 100 times of Prayaga, 1,000 times of Naimisham, 1,000 divine years of Arbuda Kshetra, Mount Abu, like this. After having darshan, you descend the hill, and there is a procedure there also. You just don't run away to your home. You follow a certain Tirtha Yatra procedure. What is the procedure? Go to the Panchatarangini, we saw now on our way. Go back to Panchatarangini, perform Shraddha there, and many dhanams are mentioned. One of the important dhanams is Pitha Dhanam. Pitha means a wooden plank which is on which yava grains are spread, a gold plate with golden corners, a gold plate with golden corners at the four corners of the plank, a central gold plate, and a gold coin. This is the Pitha. This you must give as Dhanam. Then you go to that Mamala village. We saw Mamaleshwara, worship Ganapati, and there you give Yashti Dhanam. Yashti means a stick. You give a Dhanam of Yashti. Now, for giving the Dhanam of Yashti also, there is a beautiful mantra given by Shiva. You pronounce that mantra, give the Dana of Yashti, and leave that Yashti from the hands of the Brahmana in the river there. Then have bath in Patala Ganga. Now, when you are having Amarnath darshan, in and around Amarnatha, there are pigeons. This is very famous in the lore of Amarnatha. Now, having darshan of, Shiva himself mentions pigeons here, Kapota. Now, having darshan of pigeons is very important. He says, what is the story behind these pigeons? There were some Shivaganas who made noise during his Sandhya Tandavam on one occasion. They were making noise and they were not attentive. They were not looking at Shiva. They were talking among themselves. They were making sound of kurukuru, he says. Now, they were cursed to become pigeons, these Shivaganas. They are the pigeons, so you should have darshan of these pigeons and you should chant Jaya Jaya Rudra. That is a chant, he says, recommended by Shiva. Jaya Jaya Rudra. You should have a darshan that removes all your sins and obstacles. Now, this story of Amarnatha Mahatmya, Shravanam of the story is also very meritorious. Going to Amarnatha, performing the yatra as stipulated with all these 16 kshetras, 23 tirthas, is very meritorious, no doubt. Now, listening to the story itself, idam prajananam saumyam shrotrunam pushtivardhanam patitva pathayatva va muchyate sarvakilvishaihi ayushpradam kantidam cha kirtidam jagadishwari dhanadam putradam cha api kanyapradam anuttamam. All kinds of fruits have been listed here. Patitva pathayatva. You listen and you read this Amarnatha Mahatmyam. It gives you long life, it gives you children, progeny, it gives you the fruit of Ashwamedha Yaga, and so on. A lot of fruits are mentioned. So, this is the book which was published by Kamakoti Koshasthanam, Amarnatha Mahatmyam. This was published a few years ago with English translation by me. There is also a Tamil translation there in the same book. Now, my present lecture is a summary of what is contained in that book. So the emphasis should be on, as Acharya desires, on development, all of identification and development of all these tirthas and kshetras, so that the yatra is performed properly, leisurely, not rushing with some 2 or 3 nights here and there, halting and so on. That is what is happening now. Instead of that, it should be a leisurely yatra, about a week or 10 days, going to all these kshetras, starting from Pahalgam onwards, and going up to Amarnatha and having darshan. So we come to the close of this discourse, and next lecture is by Dr. Garyali next Saturday on Introduction to Kashmir. That will be followed by lectures on Raja Tarangini by me, 2 lectures on Raja Tarangini, and so on. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Jagadambikaye Jaya Jaya. No, I can't hear.
Sir, you are in mute, sir. You are in mute.
You're on mute.
Thank you for taking the time to explain on Amarnath Yatra. I think what you mentioned earlier about the helicopter trip. Now it looks like it is not possible to do by helicopter trip. It will become only a sightseeing trip. Now with all the tirthas, what you mentioned, Sandhya Vandanam and then Sardam, it's going to be at least a 1 week trip, it looks like. And I know a few of our relatives have done 1 week trip, and I feel like comparing notes with them. And I'm very glad you also mentioned about the book. You will have 5 more sessions. I'm sorry, next week we are going to interrupt because last week we could not accomplish what we wanted to do. So, like you mentioned, we will have Madam Garyali, IAS, will continue with the presentation on Kashmir. And then the following week, we will have Sri Kannanji continuing with Raja Tarangini and other topics which you will see in our flyer. So, once again, we thank you all for listening, and do subscribe to this channel, and then you can go and then listen to the whole lecture in YouTube channel again. Thank you very much. We also thank VDSP, Sri Raja, for taking time to connect us all and making this possible. Thank you.